Welcome to Tabletop Dynasties series of 2019 PAX AUS exclusive videos. If you attended PAX AUS, then you may have already seen much of this gameplay in advance of our online release schedule. But if not, then join us now as we meet new players and delve into their characters and stories as presented on the Tabletop Dynasty stage at PAX AUS 2019.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Tabletop Dynasties. We are back with a group of amazing people, and we're going to be running a session of BRP, or Basic Role-Playing System, which is the core system that drives most of Chaosium's games, in particular the Call of Cthulhu setting. Now, this is going to be a game set in 15th century Germany about a group of people traveling in a carriage, or who have been stopped on their way from Nuremberg to Ostend. They're all traveling in this wagon or have approached this wagon for various reasons of their own. And we're going to go around the table now and introduce the players. And they're going to give us their player name, their character name, and who their character is and why they are in this carriage. So we're going to start from the side of the table.
Hello, my name is Andreas. My character's name is Oswald. He's looking after our dear noble here as she goes to Oswald for a reason he doesn't know, but he's employed and has a solid job to do.
All right, you'll have to speak up a tiny bit more.
Okay, hello?
Yeah,
How about that?
That's better. That way
Nice.
These guys can hear you.
Got it.
All right, and then we have...
My name is Ruan, and I am playing Otto Holbig. Now, I'm not in this carriage. I have been skulking around the woods waiting for this carriage to arrive. I'm a small, stocky man, about 25, blonde hair, in a ponytail.
Oh, do you want a
blue
physical
eyes.
description?
You can add to it later.
Okay. We'll get to physical description.
Yeah. Do you want me to add more now?
No,
I'll
that's
come back.
fine. And then we have...
I am Charlotte. Well, my name's Madeline. I'm playing Charlotte, or Charlie. I am a 25-year-old noble woman who has just left her home to go somewhere that's a little bit bigger and a little bit more fun, hopefully.
Yeah, it's a good time. And
I'm Michael. I'll be playing Brother Norbert,
mm-hmm.
who is currently on a pilgrimage.
Ah, excellent. So are you on a pilgrimage to Rome, ultimately? And this is just a part of your journey?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's taking the scenic route around to
Awesome.
stop by some other abbeys and...
But you're from one of the German monasteries.
Yeah.
You're traveling. Do you carry a holy relic with you? Do you carry a holy relic with you?
Yes, he does.
Ah, excellent.
And
It's good to know.
that's why he's heading back to Rome.
Ah, so he can have it blessed by or authenticated by the Pope. Do you believe in your heart of hearts that it is a true relic?
I don't think Norbert does, no.
Okay, you have it regardless. So, it is a wild and windswept plain. The hills and forests surround the area, but the road itself has been cleared about 100 meters either side, and has been done so for a while. A lot of the lands in this area is agricultural. It's coming into the end of autumn, and the trees are slowly starting to turn as the cold creeps in. People are turning from their summer clothes into warmer garments. Furs and edging start to take precedence in the fashions of the time. Large, pompous hats, cut-and-slashed cloaks, and various other things to keep them from the weather. The rider of this carriage, a 4-horse carriage, wears a slick black leather coat and a black riding hat. He urges on the horses as they go. Atop the carriage sits another man of arms and riding shotgun, and then one more person sits on the back and he looks about, keeping an eye out for bandits. For in this area, a nefarious gang of bandits has been operating. What is the name of this gang of bandits?
The Younger Brothers. They're always up to mischief.
The younger what's?
Younger Brothers.
Oh, those younger brothers. They're very wary and cautious for what's going on, and the carriage keeps moving. Clouds brood in the sky, and a light rain starts to fall. You can see a storm front coming in from the distance as the sun starts to fall over the hills nearby. You are suddenly alerted to some kind of danger as you hear a cry from one of the men atop the wagon. The wagon suddenly jostles violently as you hear a man go, "Ah!" and the thud of a body as he falls off the side of the wagon onto the ground. A crossbow bolt let out, and another shoots out, hitting the man who is riding shotgun, and again, another cry is let out. What do you do?
I look to Ostwald.
I'm
You're
still
here for a
waking up.
reason.
I'm still waking up.
You're sort of like in the corner of the couch, and you
Just-
sort of wake up. Give me a physical description.
He's maybe 24. He's just been in, I guess, the Italian wars. Clean shaven, dark brown hair. He's wearing like blue and red clothing.
Mhm.
He's got a smallish hat that's got like little cuts in it and some
Nice.
feathers.
And what color is your codpiece?
It's both red and blue,
Ah.
but like reverse to my.
And have you
opposite.
gilt your codpiece?
Sorry.
Have you gilt your codpiece? Has it got gold gilding on it?
No, I'm not that rich. That's why I'm escorting a noble. Got to get that money first.
You sort of like snort a little bit and shake your head, and you
Absolutely.
realize the carriage is moving around a bit more violently, and you look across and you see a look of urgency in the priest's face. Describe yourself.
Norbert's quite plainly dressed. He's not ostentatious.
Mhm.
He's balding. He's probably in his late 30s. Obviously, he's hasn't looked after himself physically very well. He's slightly rounder than the normal person.
And do you wear brown or black robes?
Brown robes.
Brown robes.
Yeah.
Excellent. You're the priest companion who you've been traveling with for a couple of days. Seems reasonably mild-mannered, and a lot of people who are men of God. You've seen them come. You've seen them go. You've seen them tortured and killed by friends of yours on the battlefield just for a lark. But who you are and how your moral compass stands, well, that's up to you. Charlie, you also come to attention as the carriage jostles. Describe yourself.
I am a young woman, probably redhead, I believe. My hair is unbound, not worn in braids, which at the time period for a young woman would be considered quite obscene, having your hair showing. I'm probably wearing Italian mantello outer garment, so I'm quite fashionable. I've taken inspiration from other places in Europe and had wool imported. It's probably black, and the collar is lined in fur.
And in order to maintain your exciting lifestyle, you brought with you a small chest full of gold and jewels, which is you keep tucked tightly next to you on the seat. Another crossbow bolt flies out from the woods as you and your gang start moving in on the carriage. You glance out the window, Oswald, and you catch sight of 6 figures moving in the brushes, and then you hear a creaking sound as a log rolls down from behind a small ditch, rolls out from a small ditch, pushed by another 3 men, and rolls into the center of the road. It's only maybe 10 meters ahead of the carriage. It's definitely going to collide shortly.
All right, everybody, get down now. Grab onto a piece of the carriage. Go ahead.
You all brace yourselves, and you hear the screaming sound of horses and harnesses and the tackle that goes together crushing and grinding against the log as they fall over, collapsing, whinnying, and a man flies off the horse with a thud and scrape of a body. You're all thrown and jostled inside of the carriage that is tipped over onto your side, and Ostwald, you slide over and hit the side wall, and Charlie, you slide over and land on top of Brother Norbert. Your chest that you're holding goes boom and lands heavily on your side, and then bounces off, and then lands heavily on Brother Norbert's arm. It is ow!
Give me that. That's mine. I take the chest back.
So the carriage is turned over completely on its side in the middle of this road.
And at this point, I'm going to leap on top of the side of the carriage with my crossbow held out in front of me and poke it around the window that you can see through there. Everybody's staying where they are. No one's fighting, or you're going to lose your life very quickly.
And yeah.
Look, we're traveling with a man of God. Like, show some respect.
You say, pulling yourself from the wreckage of the carriage. You push aside the carriage. You want to stand up. So the door is above you out of the carriage. So you push it open. It flaps open, and you put your arms on it and settle down. Your large hat with its pompous feather rolling off to the side, and you see
A short, stocky young man who is wearing some pretty simplistic black clothes to blend into the environment. They're pretty well dressed though for someone who's just sort of wandering around the woods, so clearly has had some luck in this department. And a bunch of other matching younger men with me as well. But yes.
matching.
Yeah.
That's important.
Yeah, very matching. We want to look good while we're doing this.
And how do you respond to the appeal from Ostwald?
I have respectfully not killed any of you yet.
You look around and see all of the carriage crew lying strewn and broken upon the ground, whimpering and dying as he as he utters these words. Do you make your way out of the carriage, Ostwald?
How close is
They stand with a crossbow about 10 meters from you.
Okay. I whisper, hey, put the chest down and leave it.
I'm not putting this down. This is all I have.
That's too bad. You don't want to get killed.
I'm not putting it down.
So this is strange for you, Ostwald, because normally Charlie doesn't really care about money, because Charlie can always just go back to her father and get more money whenever she wants. But she seems particularly attached to this chest.
Okay.
For some reason.
Just go with it. Just deal with it. I'm not putting this down. This is your job. What are you doing?
Can I see this chest?
No, it's inside the carriage, which is tipped over.
But I can see Charlie at this point now?
You can hear Charlie, who seems to be talking with a very refined voice.
Oh, boys, we hit a gold mine.
You hear the laughs of several other figures around the environment.
Norbert pops his head out next to Oswald, clutching his hand and massaging it, and looks towards Otto and goes, surely there's some way we can come to an agreement and you can go your way and we can go our way.
Very easily, sir. You simply pay the fine for traveling down these roads and you may simply go on your way, alive.
Okay, how much is this fine?
Whatever you have, that's of value.
I put my head out the window. I've been traveling these roads my whole life. There's never been a fine. What are you talking about?
Okay, so you now catch the face of a very well-presented but rather sultry woman in the French style, her hair out and unbound, traveling in a coach with a priest and a lance cadet.
Perhaps it's the way you're traveling, madam, that has caused the fine today.
What do you mean by that?
Unaccompanied, hair out? How shocking.
What do you mean unaccompanied? I have my bodyguard right here and a man of faith.
And your ladies?
I don't need ladies with me. I have my bodyguard. My father has hired him. He's taking care of me.
Great job so far. Right. You are all going to slowly exit the vehicle.
By what jurisdiction?
Carriage?
Wait, no. Who are you with?
Hold on. How about we just give him something of value, like my hat?
Oswald, you need to stop talking.
Like
I know you don't deal with
hat.
situations like this very
It's
much.
got 3 big feathers in it. It's puffed with silk.
And
You can surely... How about that?
I point out one of the other younger brothers who's wearing a beautiful hat with feathers
Damn it.
puffed with silk. We got one of
I
these
got
earlier.
it just the other day. It's very nice. I like my hat a lot.
Who's administering this fine? Who are you?
We are the younger brothers. We are the unemployable younger brothers of this area, and we collect the dues needed for our families along this road.
And who's your father?
Does it matter?
Yes, it does. Tell me who your father is. I'm going to have my father speak to yours. This is inappropriate. You should not be pulling people off on the side of the road like this. You
And
flipped our carriage.
Look at you.
Who do
you
you think
can't
you are?
stop her because you should.
My lady,
She's not
robbers.
going to
They're
last.
thieves. Don't forget
You
about
are,
it.
it's a very hilarious scene. It's very much like a little puppet show where the top door of the carriage has been opened and the three of you are like sitting up with your heads out, sticking out from the top of it, and these other people are standing a safe distance away with crossbows trained.
You're assuming too much of these men.
You hear a cry from the other side as one of your boys is like, Otto, there is a case. It's open. There's some kind of cloud coming out of it.
Cloud?
Yes,
What sort of wealth do you have
I think
that you
it's
can capture
bedeviled. You
clouds?
see a look in his
I
eye.
immediately start winding my handgun.
I summoned to one of the other brothers to go and have a look, because clearly this guy's been on the booze a bit too long today.
Okay, they all look at each other. They all seem nervous and not wanting to approach it. But you guys hear what's being said, and you sort of look over the back of look over the top. What is the top of the carriage? Because you're sort of popping out the wagon side door, and you look over and you see there's a large black box. It has bronze fastenings around it, and it indeed has fallen and broken. The top lid has come undone, or the fastenings have come undone, and from it, a almost purple black cloud has started to spill out from it and envelop the immediate area. It's starting to ride, the gaseous fumes are starting to rise up even around the carriage itself. And you look to your feet, Brother Norbert, and you see that it's coming under the carriage and through the door.
Norbert is climbing straight out. He's having none. He's like, nope.
I
You
put
see
my
the
hand
priest-
down.
You see the priest's face go white and move like a priest has never moved before.
I put my hand down to Charlotte here, and I indicate that I would be willing to help her out if she wants to move quickly, but I keep my other hand with the crossbow trained
So
very
you
carefully
approach,
on you.
You approach the wagon?
Yeah.
Alright, approach the carriage.
Terrified, I grab as much of the chest that I can that's still below me in the carriage,
Oh yeah, it's a small
It's
chest.
small
you
chest?
Look it up.
and I pass it to Oswald, covered by my cloak as much as possible, before accepting your hand out.
You're forever
I'm quite
impressed.
flustered.
You're forever impressed, Oswald, the amount of weight that the good lady can carry and handle. As she gives you the chest, and you're visibly like, "Whoa, there's a lot of gold in that." And you accept the hand.
Yes, I accept Otto's hand.
I pull her out and then sort of push her towards one of the other
And
brothers.
as I'm used to imagine you come out as well,
Yeah,
Oswald.
I'm gonna drop the chest on the other side of the wagon, like so. Say if the bandits are there, and then it's on that side.
Okay.
So it's just like whatever. And I also hop out.
Okay, as you hop out, you see the black smoke, like substance, starting to creep around the outside of the wagon. It looks like it's. Everyone can make a spot hidden roll. So take your percentile dice and roll spot hidden, please. So at this instance, I'd like to say that
Little is good. Spot hidden.
did anyone pass?
Yes.
Yep. 8.
Okay.
Oh, you might
Spot
have
hidden.
critically passed.
So I got the second.
Is that a zero?
We're using percentile dice, where the double-digit dice is tens and the single-digit dice is units.
Is equal.
Even with Norbert's bad eyesight, he passed.
So the three of you all notice that the smoke is not behaving in a normal manner. In fact, it is tendriling out with these small, sort of like almost proboscises moving out in various directions. They seem to be reaching towards you, following you in an almost magnetized manner.
Alright, I move and I summon for my men to get further away. I think your fine just increased, lady.
What's going on? Is something on fire?
What are you carrying in here? Can't you see this smoke? This tendril-like...
What do you mean, what am I carrying? You can see what I have in my hands. This is all I have with me.
as part of your carriage, madam.
This is a rented carriage, sir.
Surely this luggage is yours. Look at the valuable lock on it.
You all step away and during this conversation to a safe distance. You now look and you see the same thing. It's behaving in a weird manner. As you move farther away, it stops being magnetized more towards you as it creeps low across the ground and instead moves towards the corpses of the 3 carriage drivers who had fallen to the ground, now seeking something. And eventually, as you watch, it disappears inside of them, through their mouth and their ears, and in through their eyes. You can all make sanity checks at this point.
No.
You can all make sanity checks at this point, please.
Percentile again. And you want to get low. Oh my god.
So equal to or less than your current sanity.
69.
Okay, everybody who failed can lose everyone who failed can lose 3 sanity points. Everyone who passes loses 1. As the bodies of the deceased carriage drivers start twitching and moving
I unsafe my handgun.
one after the other, you remove the wax seal from the pan, yeah?
Yep, it's out.
Switch
Straight
and twitching
forward.
one movement after another, like sick and twisted marionettes moved by some unseen puppeteer, jangling a hand, an arm at a time in a very strange manner until they are finally standing upright. And they stay there for a minute. What do you do?
Put a bit of
Yeah, so
priming powder into the little bits of my... Ready to go.
It's ready to go. They're standing still at
I'm
the moment.
shooting one of them. I just killed them. They should still be dead.
Well, theoretically, yeah. I mean, that guy, his head is currently on backwards, still attached,
Yeah, that's
but
dead.
facing the wrong direction.
I'm gonna try again. I'm gonna try and
father.
shoot him again.
Hello, yes, father.
Fuck! The arrow goes clean into his chest. You see, it pierces out almost the other side. And then the head that is on completely backwards slowly rolls around his shoulder, clicking back off into place. His head, chin looking up, and he faces you. And then he takes a step. And then another in your direction. Your men flee.
So unreliable, younger brothers.
All right, I'm going to fire into that one's head.
Give me a gunnery roll. Or handguns. Give me a shooting roll.
Whoa.
14.
So that's a...
The second.
Yep, that's awesome. So that's a big success. Now roll damage.
Five.
It smacks into his shoulder, dislocating his arm. It falls limp to the side, only a few tendrils of flesh holding it in place. His shoulder recoils back, his whole body going backwards with his foot as he steps. And then he moves forwards again, taking one more step.
I'm pointing my
Still
crossbow.
towards you, Otto.
I'm pointing my crossbow now at Brother Norbert. This is your domain, and I'm gonna nudge you forward a little bit. You need to sort this out.
I've never seen anything like this before. As I quickly do a sign.
Give us a good prayer, brother. I'm going to start reloading my gun again.
I'll tell you when that's done. What would you like to do, Charlie?
I'm hiding behind Oswald.
Okay, excellent.
I reach out and go, now, listen here. If you're injured, I can help you.
Okay, so the other two are now also walking in your general direction because you guys are all together now. Have you moved closer towards where Otto is?
Yeah, I don't have my crossbow on you anymore.
I'm backing up.
And these 3 figures start fanning out in a crescent shape and moving in towards your position. They are coming from the road. You're off to the side of the road. Behind you is the forest.
Have I left my halberd in the carriage?
You can see it still just strapped onto the top of the carriage. It's just tied down, but it's just right there.
And they're in the way?
Yeah, they're kind of like crescenting out and coming towards you, and you're in a group. You could back around and just run around. They don't seem to be moving very quickly. They're moving slowly and steadily towards you.
I'm trying to have a conversation because we know these men. We've been traveling with them. So I look to the carriage driver, Oscar. I'm like, Oscar, are you sure you're okay? You don't look great.
So Oscar rolls in and looks up to you and starts speaking in a language that you recognize as Latin. So give me a Latin roll. See how well you comprehend this.
Total gibberish.
It seems to be impaired by the fact that his vocal cords have been twisted up by his broken neck.
Give him the last rites. Maybe that'll help.
I'm going to fire again at the injured one.
Okay.
Ace.
That's a critical. So what you do is roll double damage.
Oh, yeah.
About to say they're alive.
6. 3.
Crack! Another shot rings out through the environment. You take careful aim. A bunch of birds fly up from the nearby trees, blackbirds into the wilderness, and the shot explodes the head of that bird like a watermelon. It walks towards you, still.
With no head.
The birds fly off. The crackle of lightning across the skyline in the storm front that is approaching.
Quick, I know a safe place in the forest. I think we need to get out of this area.
I agree, wholeheartedly.
It'll cost you.
I don't have any money.
Okay, give me a second. My lady, can you please take my gun?
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to run around
Okay?
to the back of the carriage
Yep.
where both the chest is
Yep.
and the halberd is. Can I
Yep.
get them both?
The chest seems to have no more smoke coming out of it. The smoke seems to
the
dissipate.
little
Also,
money
you
chest.
dropped it and left it there. Yep, so you can go back and you rush around. As you do so, they sort of reach out slowly to try and move for you. And they look and you see one of their arms particularly moves very quickly all of a sudden. Like they're acclimatizing to these bodies. And you get around and you just unfasten. It takes a second, you just like pull the slip knots on the halberd, take it down, and grab the chest in one arm, halberd over your shoulder. What are you doing, brother? You guys are still moving away, following Otto?
Norbert's staying there because he's both horrified that you blew one of our friends' heads off, and he's slightly worried for Oscar, the carriage driver, and he's trying to reason with the one that's speaking gibberish.
Yeah, okay, cool. Yeah, you're definitely. And what words of encouragement are you giving to this carriage driver?
I've seen worse in the wars. I'm sure we can patch it up. Like I've got a first aid kit on me.
Okay,
Brother,
you offer the help that only a priest and a healer can give to a man who's just come back from death. And he just keeps burbling. All of the ones with mouths and lungs that work just keep burbling at you in Latin. So make another Latin roll, see if you can comprehend what he's saying.
Yep.
Awesome. The time has come. We are free. All flesh is our flesh. The time has come. We are free. All flesh is our flesh.
Brother, what's he saying?
Oh no, they're gone.
And
Oswald, you can have them.
And over.
All right, it's time to
And
go.
over.
It's time to go, brother.
All right, we need to back away
Fleeing.
slowly.
What are they saying, Norbert?
Oh, the devil has them.
Have you heard these words before?
No, never.
Why are you so scared then?
because I didn't train for this at all.
As he clutches his chest, you see he's got it comes out of his robe. There's quite a heavy chain. You'd seen the chain before, but it's only at this point you see he's reached into his robe and he's holding what looks like a copper tube with riveted ends on it either side. Norbert is. He's just holding it instinctively as he backs away with a look of terror in his eyes.
All right. Time to go, brother. Like now. Let's get like.
All right, I'm gonna get a hold of Charlotte
Start moving.
because she's my paycheck at the end of this, regardless. And I'm gonna start backing away through the forest, and finding the safer little nooks and crannies. Sure, I've got a little cave that
You guys have an old abandoned house in the forest.
Fallbacks.
Yeah. It used to be an estate at some point, but that was over 100 years ago, and it's overgrown and dilapidated. You've done it up since then, so it's actually quite nice.
There's some really lovely things in there that I've picked up.
Some beautiful
from...
wood carvings, some
Yeah.
detailings. It still was wainscoted all around the bottom side.
Yeah.
Good stone foundations.
Yeah, a few ornaments here and there, knickknacks.
And it's a really good big basement. They had a huge wine cellar and some small tunnel network, so it was really good because you could just ditch people down there so they could slowly decompose.
It's how you make your money.
Absolutely. Alright, so you start moving quickly through the forest. These things seem to have a lot of trouble keeping up with you as you just make your way. You leave them walking slowly from the road towards you in the direction that you're going. A last glance over your shoulder once more reassures you that they are coming in your direction as you run into the forest, regardless of how slowly they are moving. And you go. Winding trails and paths, ancient trees in this dark forest. Much like the Teutoburg, it's overgrown and dense. Large roots grow up. Occasionally you see animals here and there scattering, birds flying through the trees, all finding their roosts for the night as the last rays of the sun go down. You'll normally light a torch at this point.
Yeah, I'm lighting the torch, but I'm also looking at you with a stern eye. I don't want any funny business from you.
Hey, I've got no funny business at all. You're the one who robbed us.
Save your weapons for those things. They're coming for us.
Absolutely.
So you make your way through the woods. The sounds of the night creatures start coming in, and the scuttering of various things in the darkness around. Perhaps squirrels, perhaps small animals, perhaps something darker. What you've seen is out of this world and beyond. Anything could be out there. Are these things still stalking you in the night? You're uncertain. Regardless, you are somewhat relieved, or at least you three are somewhat relieved by the sight of a light in the forest. Warm, glowing firelight coming through the windows of an old house that starts to become clearer as you move through the trees. However, Otto, this is not so relieving for you.
No.
Because you did not leave any fires on in your
No.
house in the forest, dilapidated though it may be.
Maybe some of the younger brothers fell back to this
Quite
position.
possibly.
But I'm getting myself ready. You seem to be handy with a weapon, sir.
Yeah, I am.
I think we should be prepared for what's inside the cottage.
Do you carry your sword?
Yeah, I'm sword. I'm still carrying his gun too.
The lady also, as unusually as it may be, carries a arming sword.
It's a rapier.
Oh, rapier, that's
Lady
right.
like rapier.
Barely
A very
noticed. I was
fancy
still
rapier.
shocked by her hair.
Okay, I'm gonna... Hey, by the way, I'm gonna swap you. I want my gun back. Take this heavy chest.
I like it. It makes me feel powerful. I
Yep.
don't want to give it back to you.
Well, you're gonna take this massive chest of all your belongings.
It's less massive, and
Okay,
it's a
this
small
very,
chest,
very,
this big,
very heavy
very
chest
heavy.
of all your belongings.
Once we are safely inside, you are going to explain what was in that box.
I wish I could tell you.
Not my box. I don't know what that was.
Was anyone else traveling with you?
You've
Maybe
been
it was-
traveling in this carriage the longest, Norbert, and you do recall, at some point in Nuremberg, at the coaching inn, a group of individuals loading this large box onto the wagon, and accompanying the box was a bundle of documents that was handed over to the coachman to deliver. This box was to be delivered to Alston. You can only assume, or perhaps further than Alston, to another location. But it was being delivered unaccompanied by the coachman to a location, and it was accompanied by a parcel of documents.
I can vouch for Charlie, and God can as well, that this is none of our possessions. It was traveling on its own.
And did you share with me the documents? What had happened?
I don't have them. It's not mine.
Wait, so somebody else just loaded this thing onto the carriage?
It's not uncommon for things to be shipped.
Yeah, you know.
So, who would have any information on it?
Oscar with the carriage driver.
Oh, and he's still on
is
his
that-
way, is he?
He's on his way. We can maybe ask him
Well-
when he gets here.
Okay,
I'm
I'd start
sure
loading
he
my
would-
gun
I'm sure he
again.
would keep them on him.
All right, it's time to approach
Huh?
the house more cautiously at this
You
point.
haven't given it back.
Let me
can I
take
please-
that chest for you. I'll look after that.
Can I please have my gun back?
He's carrying the chest.
Yep.
And I'll carry the gun.
Okay, but it's unloaded. Can I have back, please?
Can I have some ammo, please?
What if I need it?
What
All
if
right,
I
we need to
it?
quit these petty arguments. We are getting closer and closer to the house, and I didn't leave a light on today.
Okay,
What?
fine, whatever.
Who do you
know how
live
to
there
sh-
with then?
Do you know how to shoot a gun?
I do. My only hope is one of the brothers has come back here.
Those guys that ran away earlier?
Yes,
So they live there too. So it could be one of them?
maybe.
Okay,
What
how'd
do
you
you mean,
go?
maybe?
how'd
Well,
you-
I don't know for sure. I'm not inside, am I?
Well, you-
So I suggest we approach cautiously, which means we're not going to stand here arguing about who has which gun.
How did you go last hunting trip? How'd you go?
Very well, thank you.
Okay, fine. I hand over 2 shots and some powder for it.
Thank you.
Hallelujah. Right. You
appro-
wait here. I'm going ahead. I'm going to do some cautious sneaking up
Okay, give me
so
a
I can
stealth roll.
peek through the window. That would be a fail.
All right, so you're sneaking through. You're being very, very sneaky, and then you. I want that one. And you crack a twig on the way, and you guys hear him fall over.
I swear.
I look
Swear.
over to the house.
You see a figure passing across the window, and now that you're sitting stagnant for a while, the breeze is coming in your direction, and you catch the scent of meat cooking.
You big on meats?
You look up and see Oswald behind you. He's just been tromping through the wood behind you.
How did you get here?
Very sneakily.
And then the rest of them come out, because they didn't want to be left alone in the darkness.
Yeah, I can smell food. I'm going straight in.
All right.
I
You all approach
run
the house.
after him.
Yep.
What do I notice on my way in?
Give me a spot hidden roll. Give me a spot hidden roll.
Fail.
Nothing significant. I mean, you've never been here before, so you can't see if anything's amiss.
Madam, you better stay with me for your safekeeping and for my money.
I load the gun.
Right, if you're walking in, I'm letting you go. You can die first.
Going up, knocking on the door.
Okay, excellent. You go up and go to knock on the door, and the door is on old hinges, and you go tick tick, and you go and opens. And you stand at the door, a man of the cloth, in your holy robes, with your white collar and your shaved head, and you're clutching a book in one hand and a small pouch
Chest
in the
under
other hand.
Chest
Yeah.
under the
He's got the
arm.
money, yeah.
Yeah. And 7 people are in a room together. And they all seem like a variety of Jaegers, like strange, well, they're not strange, they're just decrepit hunters of all sorts, clad in bits of cloth and skins from animals, and some of them wear kind of old-style pantaloons and hose without undergarments. You can tell by the way they're hanging. And lying on the floor in the middle of the room is a wincing man with no ears and no nose, who's just crying. And you recognize this man as one of the young brothers. He's like, oh! And a man in a large, dilapidated armchair on the far side, looking up, backed by a fire in the hearth. A man of gods! Ah, this is exactly what we need. Come and bless this boy. He has no nose and no means to hear God's word. So you must deliver a sermon personally. Come, be welcome.
Is this a voice that's familiar to me?
Yeah, so there was this one time, probably about a month ago, when you happened across a stash of furs in a cabin that had been just left completely unguarded, and you thought,
They need someone to take
if
ownership.
Jaeger Hansen is not in the area, maybe Jaeger Hansen will not miss Jaeger Hansen's furs. And so you appropriated Jaeger Hansen's furs and sold them for a tidy profit in a nearby town. And now it looks like Jaeger Hansen has come with his Jaeger friends to hang out in your lounge room and impart on you his love.
Hail
Excellent.
Foresters, how are you?
So you also step into the room?
I'm coming
so they've
in
only
right
seen
after
the
him.
priest so far.
I step in and, as he says, I go, just to clarify, I don't know this man on the floor.
He does not need to know you. He needs to know God. And you are a man of God, so you can deliver him the love of God, yes?
Of course,
Would you see him go to God without being saved? And he pulls out a heavy, brutal-looking mace and thumps it on the ground next to the poor man's head. Or live the rest of his life a cripple.
I think a man such as you would do what is right and not hurt him, hopefully.
I didn't hurt him. Johan did. And they all laugh.
Okay, hey, bandit, wait outside if you could.
Okay, so they don't seem to know that you're there at the moment, the three of you. They're just talking with the priest.
Yeah.
One of them, you do see a figure starting to approach the window, though.
Okay, yeah, you stay outside for a second.
Alright, I don't need to deal with Jaeger anytime soon.
Oh, hail Foresters, how are you? I see you've met my friend, Brother Norbert. Oh, and you've got one of these gang members.
My goodness! A man of God and a shiny boy?
Oh, yeah,
How
hi.
fancy you are!
Hey, did you?
Johan, have you seen that codpiece?
Yeah, what's up? It's pretty good.
I think he's
Hits
Italian.
the table when I sit down.
Keep your wives hidden! This
Yeah.
man will make them pregnant by looking at them!
Oh yeah, I served in Italy. It was a good time. Man, what can I tell you? Was it you guys? Was you guys sorted this place out?
Got another fist bump
Sorted
there.
this place. We are sitting here, and this is a lovely lounge room. I think maybe it is our place now.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll make a home of it.
Good work. No, this guy just tried to rob us, like this afternoon on the road.
And I walk in at this point.
No, don't.
Was this man Otto?
I have brought you your payment for the furs.
Oh, good, because I was wondering what had happened to them.
Well, I didn't
I
want them
talked
to rot.
to your boy here. It was very informative about how you were able to take our furs when we were not in our cabin.
Well, if you leave your furs for too long, the moisture gets into them, they lose their value. So I have come to pay you back. I have a madam here who has some worth, and that codpiece is looking pretty fine.
He looks down and he pulls aside his shirt that's hanging over his crotch, and he looks down at his yellow and brown stained trousers. He rubs the inside of his legs. He says, "Yes, it would probably look very nice right here."
I'm not with this. I'm not with this man. I just want to let you know now.
Oh, no, you're not with me. That's fine. But I'm using you as payment.
Surely you've got money in this house. I feel like you could sort this one out yourself.
Not enough to pay for those furs. But you can.
So you have brought me a present. It is this woman.
Well, probably more of the value that she carries.
I would take the woman.
You wish.
I don't think that's gonna happen. Sorry, my friend. We have got pressing concerns. If you're up for it, and then maybe we could talk after that. I don't know. Maybe we get you a piece each, piece of gold each. Help
Are
us
you a
out.
business person now, Oswald?
Yeah,
Is that what you are?
Absolutely.
Are you a businessman?
Yep. That's
Is that what
it.
my father pays you for? To be
Yep,
a businessman
that's
on my
100%.
behalf
Yep.
and do negotiations for me?
Okay, well you can do it then.
And I hate to intrude, but who is this father of yours?
It's no matter for you right now.
Well, maybe I'll
It's-
ask the Lance Cadet.
What I can tell you is that we've got a problem following us, and there's money in it for you if you can help us deal with it.
Give me a persuasion roll.
It's great. I'm getting all of my problems sorted by someone else. This way, yeah. He doesn't have it.
Oh,
But it's low. It was 20.
that's okay. You can make a hard
25.
charisma roll.
25.
That's what you got. He's like, I think maybe we can talk about it tomorrow, and tonight we'll have a party.
There's a little bit of a dampener on that party there, because the carriage they came in had some sort of a chest.
Again, like I said, the problem's following us right now.
I've never seen anything like it. I killed 3 men. They're alive and
Shut-
coming back, following us.
You give me a persuade roll.
Hold on now.
17. That is a good one.
Surely this is just another one of your tattletales, Otto. Surely you are lying to us. You can see he kind of believes you and is getting a little bit nervous.
I think Brother Norbert can describe it better, and you have to believe a man of the cloth. They
Priest?
are not allowed to lie.
Tell me what he says.
Are you a man of God?
Sorry, of what?
Of God?
Does he look
Of
like
what?
a man of God?
Of what?
The point is, you're a man of God. You need to describe what you saw. The head's twisted.
It was the worst nightmare you could ever think. Heads were not on straight. I looked into his eyes, a man that I had traveled with for 3 days, and all I saw was just nothing.
Yeah, I get like that sometimes too, but what's the deal?
Okay, so I shot,
He shot
one
him,
of their
and
heads
he
off,
didn't- and he didn't
he's,
die.
and he's actually still on his way. So, like I said, it's a little bit urgent.
Give me a persuasion roll, priest.
Pass?
Okay, cool. How far away?
Given the
How
speed,
far away are they?
I think they're about 10 minutes away.
I think you guys walked for a couple hours to get here.
Oh, okay.
Okay, they're about 2 hours away.
And then the rain starts to pick up a little bit,
No.
pattering on the roof. And muffled through the sounds, you can all make a listen roll.
5.
Oh, that's a critical success.
Just passed.
So, Brother Norbert and Otto, you both hear the distinct sounds of someone's head slowly being wrenched back, in particular you, so that their esophagus opens up in such a way as to let a sharp, quick shriek out to the sky before, and you don't hear this, Otto, this is just for you, Brother Norbert. You hear the distinct and signature sound of a neck being snapped, and the cry is cut short.
Sorry, are we all awake?
You're all still in the room, nothing's changed. You just hear this. They're all talking. You've just persuaded him. He's starting to come around to the idea that there's something coming. And now you've heard from outside, around the house somewhere, someone's just had their head wrenched back and their neck snapped.
I told Oswald, I'm like, they're here. If you could deal with it. And I look to the man in charge and I go, the
Jaeger.
things are here.
Time to get the men
Hey,
guarding the walls.
hey, Bandit.
Doors.
Hey, Bandit. Do you have more guns here?
What are you talking about? It's raining. What are we going to do with guns?
The bandit.
We probably have some weapons stashed away that we may have
All right.
collected from others.
Hey,
William, go see if the guys outside are okay.
no, don't. If the brother's telling us it's time for to get on the walls, and it's not time to go outside on your own.
Some of the Jaegers start moving out, and they actually go out to the walls. They look out, can't see anything.
I'm going to start moving some furniture towards the windows.
It's dark. It's black. Apart from the firelight coming from inside,
I help you move some
it's
furniture.
black outside.
It's barricade time.
Yeah.
I use the fire to light some of the, I guess, whatever lantern, like
Yep.
candles
so
around the
there are a
house.
few standard sort of storm lanterns around, and then there are some tapers that have just been put together, or some standard torches with sort of sticks with oil wraps around them. You see a few sitting in the corner, much like the one that Otto was carrying. There's actually a bucket by the door. There's a few of them. You see a few weapons around. Obviously, these guys have weapons, but they're all bows, typically shorter hunting bows. And There's some cudgels, some
I
axes.
collect a cudgel.
Yeah. Grab a cudgel. And you see a few other people go out. And
Peek through the window to
peek
see
through the window.
what happens to this light and the people who went with
Okay,
it.
anyone else looking out a window to see what's going on outside?
Yes.
Okay, so
Just before I
spot
barricade
hidden
it.
rolls,
Yeah,
guys.
we're moving something up. To which roll?
Spot hidden.
23.
Ooh, I can spend some luck because I feel
if
like
you
I
want.
want to
You want
see
to know
this.
what's going on out there?
I do, so I need
All right,
to spend.
so you spend some luck points to
Yep.
make your roll a success.
Yes, so I need
Just
to
mark it off your sheet.
Yep.
And so you both see in the darkness, you see one of the figures, one of the Jagers has gone out. He's got his bow drawn slightly at half tension. He's walking out. He's only a few meters from the house, but even at that distance, it's pretty dark. And the firelight is only just trickling off his back. He sort of moves, and you see something approaching from the side. Something low on the ground. A figure disjointed, with its arms spread out and its legs spread out at almost unnatural angles to flatten it almost imperceptibly to the ground, blending into the leaf matter of the forest floor. But you catch it just as it pounces, and you just see a blur of motion fly across your vision, and a vaguely twisted humanoid form move at lightning speed across and grab the figure and drop it to the ground on the floor in the decaying leaf matter of the forest, and pushing it down. And you see more than just the outline that Otto sees, the head rear back, and upon the face you recognize the face of one of the coachmen who was there, but now his arms have been broken out from his body. Hideous black flesh conjoins and extends his limb with extra joints, and he holds his head up with a serene, peaceful, death-like visage on his face, trickled catching the firelight. But then his jaw cracks open, and razor-sharp, needle-like fangs extend as his jaw distends, opening his mouth wide, and he goes gorging into the body. You can make a sanity roll at this point. So equal to or less than your sanity.
No.
You can lose D6 sanity points. Okay. So you all see, anyone who's inside sees Charlie drop from the window, her hands shaking. She drops the firearm on the floor and clatters awkwardly to the ground. She falls to her knees and starts looking at her hands and start swiping at her arms as you see black patches like the smoke that you saw outside start appearing all over your body. This is what you see until I tell you otherwise. You are currently under a psychosis.
But she's
Oswald!
okay. Is she actually on fire or?
Sorry, she's behaving erratically. You look
Okay.
at her arms, she's talking, trying to get something off that's not there.
Lean the halberd against one of the walls.
You do your job. I'll look after her.
What is it? Can you see it?
No.
What's going on?
It's
Get it off.
It's
Get it
absolutely
off.
nothing you'll
Give me your
find.
cloak.
I-
Get
I-
it
I've
off.
run
Get
out
it off.
there.
So,
Give me a psychology roll, Norbert.
we pass.
She's cracked. Her mind is cracked. She's experiencing a psychosis. The devil has gotten into her. You've seen it before,
Do I
where
know
people get
how to
caught up with a
bring people
hysteria.
out of it?
You can try. Give me another psychology roll to try and sort of.
So just try to calm her down and succeed.
All right, so you can make a power roll now. So that's one of your characteristics.
Which one's that?
Same.
No, he's trying to calm you. He's trying to explain that it's not there. He's trying to explain.
Rationalize
What are you
it.
saying?
I'm like, just focus on something small, and then ignore the things around you.
Like what? What's small? I don't see anything. What do I look at? What am I supposed to look at? What's going on?
So as this conversation is going on,
Norbert's only ever done
Otto-
this in theory.
The coachman was even more dead and more like flayed.
your eye.
We need to
Okay.
get her further away from this.
I run out there. Give her my cross. If he's yelling like, she's like, oh, I don't have anything to focus on. Blah 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 blah.
so you're going over to her?
Yeah, I'm going over to her.
All right. So Oswald comes over to you and he hands you his crucifix.
Sorry.
You hand her.
I give her my cross.
Yeah.
And grab the gun and like start pulling her away.
So do you glance out the window at this point?
Oh, sorry. I'm out. Like.
Oh, yeah.
I've come out.
We're
So
inside, but we're
you've
looking
heard-
out the window.
You've heard some commotion going inside, and you go and you hear some crunching and cracking happening just around the corner on the other side.
Oh,
of the
excuse
building.
me. Do I hear her screaming or?
Sorry.
No. You
Excuse
did.
me. I've heard her screaming.
You just hear her in distress.
Okay. Don't hear what she's saying.
No.
Okay. So in that case,
But you also hear this sickening, wet crunching noise coming from just around the corner of the building.
All right. We have a basement here in this house.
in that
true.
in
I'm
that
going to
ca-
start moving my way towards that, and you should come with me. These walls are not going to be enough. We need to hide.
So yeah, I run out there to her.
Yeah.
What do I make of the situation?
So you go back into the house.
We're inside.
Oh, you're inside.
We're inside.
Oh, excuse me. Excuse me. I missed it. I misheard.
That's okay.
I apologize.
It's hard to hear.
I am shutting the door.
So you go inside. Shut the
Shutting the door.
door. Okay.
I'm shutting the door.
All right. You shut the door, and you're still hearing that noise. But
Right.
it goes away somewhat as you come inside the building.
Do we have
And-
any more tables left?
You look around, and yeah, there's definitely furniture. But the hunters, there are 5 still in the room. 2 have gone out. Jacob Hansen is sort of looking around nervously, and is crying out the window to his.
Hey.
He's not crying. Sorry, he goes out to the window and he starts
Hey.
making whistling noises, and you start hearing some returns, but then you hear another cry outside.
Yeah. Your men are dead. It's time to move on. Like.
What is happening?
Bar this last door.
What's happening out there?
Squelching. You said you heard the coachman. It's time. Lock the door.
No, I will not accept this.
Hey, he said he has a basement. I think it's time to go to the
I
basement.
have the doors open, and I am already starting to go down these stairs.
I'm shuffling Charlie down there. God has forsaken us. We should get out of here.
You can stay up here and wait for your men and leave this door open if you like. Or
Damn it! You owe me, Otto. We'll leave you to it. I don't know what you've got cooking up here, but I will have no part of this devilry. Men, let us go! And they all move to the door.
No. If we let them get out, they'll become undead things too. I'm going to start shooting Jaeger's men. Oh no, once they're dead, then they get him. Oh, it's too difficult.
And they walk out the front door
All right.
and start making into the forest.
out we go. Down we go.
All
Down
right.
we go.
I don't want to go down.
Yes, you do.
No,
I'd pick her up.
I punch him.
Oh, excellent. Cool. So a contested strength roll, please. 33, what'd you get?
74.
Yeah, you punch him, roll damage. It's a D3. I'm gonna say that you hit him in his exposed face, and you get a resounding crack to your temple, and it rings through your head. You take 3 points of damage from it, not deducted from armor, because you were punching him in the face, right?
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to give you a hand to get her down here, and we need to get her quiet. We need to be dead silent so we can hide from these things. Maybe if they don't know we're here, they'll just eat Jaeger's men and leave us alone.
Can you all see this? It's all over me. It's all over my hands. Get it off of me.
All right, I'm going to help you drag her down, and I've got some
No,
alcohol.
don't touch me. Get
I've
it
got
off
alcohol
of me.
down here. We can
it's
wash
all
it.
over me. Get it off.
As you back away into a corner away from these 2 rather large men who are cornering you. He may not be tall, but he's burly, stocky.
What?
It's a
What's on you?
cornering you, and this black stuff just keeps growing, and it's moving more and more up your arms, and they can't see it.
I'm going to grab a bottle of the alcohol that Jaeger was drinking
Yep.
and just pour it over her arms. Look, it's clean now.
It's just pour dirty moonshine all over your arms.
Yeah, that's why you put on wounds, then you like cauterize it with like your fire stoker.
Normally you rub dirt in it. That's the best
Yeah,
way.
that's also really good.
Horse manure is even better.
Oh, so good.
I'm just covered in moonshine.
Well, they haven't come at you with the poo on a stick yet.
Oh my god.
Just the arms. Just
But
it's
yes,
fine.
you're starting to smell, and it's all over your fancy Italian clothes.
Oh. What are you doing? Just get it. Give me your cloak.
Alright,
Let
you
me
grab
wipe
one
it
arm,
off. Get
I'll
it
grab the
off of
other.
me.
Okay, we drag her down.
Kicking and
Together.
screaming.
Yeah, between them, their strength is enough to
Yeah.
The father.
subdue you, especially because you're freaking out over this stuff that's growing. And
And
brother, as you walk away, you see these. They leave the door just swinging
Please-
open.
please get
and
the
as
door.
they disappear into the forest in the firelight, you see the silhouette in the darkness of a strange, unearthly creature, twisted black limbs, moving slowly, crab-like one side to the other through the trees silently. Please follow them into the forest as they leave.
Mutter a prayer and then close the door to the basement.
Okay.
Put the
And
latch
you
across.
pull the trap door down.
Yeah.
Shink.
I pop the top off some beautiful wine and shove it in your face. Start drinking.
I throw it back at you.
Give me another power roll at this point. All right, cool. Yeah, you're looking. It's you throw it, and the bottle just make a dodge roll.
Oh, it's not good.
Give me, you take 3 points of damage as the bottle smashes into your
Why
face.
isn't anyone helping me? I've just asked, give me your cloak. Let me wipe it off.
And you
Okay.
look down at your arms and you pull up your sleeve and it's now going even farther up your
Okay,
arm. The
here,
black
it's-
marks, the
it's-
smoky black patterns are infesting up your arms now.
Take my coat. Just start wiping your hands.
I start viciously scrubbing my arms with it.
You see you look at it and she's rubbing and they're starting to go raw.
You need to get her quiet. We need to not make a sound in here.
I check inside your Charlie's chest to see if she has any.
Okay, you pull a couple of elaborate bolts, and flip it open. It's full to the brim of money. So Charlie, in spite of how much this is freaking you out, you're now seeing the priest opening the chest, and you are also, Oswald, you're astounded. It's like there are gems, there are jewelry pieces, there are gold coins, doubloons.
I'm feeling a little bit better
there's-
about this now.
There's literally thousands of marks in that chest. That's more money than you've ever seen her carry. And you've seen Charlie go to some pretty crazy parties, and you know her father is stinking rich, but she's left with a vast fortune. Particularly, you recognize one article of jewelry that belongs to her father's deceased wife that he covets above all other pieces. She has raided his precious belongings.
Okay. Brother, you still have that cudgel?
I do, yeah.
It's time. It's time. She needs to have a nap.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I'm sure there's another way we can sort this out.
What's wrong
I
with you?
start
I'm
trying
sick
to-
and now you're robbing me?
No, we're not robbing you, but you need to have a nap.
You can just
Brother,
start.
brother, are
crash
you
down
gonna
in front
let him
of-
do
I'm
this?
sorry, you're making this very this whole
like,
zombie thing very
This
difficult to
is
deal
obviously
with.
the work of the devil, and you need to repent for your sins. And
What do I do? Tell me
Well,
what to
obviously-
do.
Maybe if we
Just-
throw some rubies at them.
just pray with me.
Okay.
And so I'm gonna lead it through.
Okay, so give me another psychology roll.
A whispered prayer, please. Whispered.
Nope, that's a big old
Oh,
fail.
no.
Okay, so regardless, you don't get a bonus dice, but you can make another
Can I use
power roll to try and just focus yourself.
Do you say we could use luck to?
Yeah, so you can use luck to augment your
Alright,
roll.
I'm gonna do that. So
Ooh,
actually.
nice.
Okay, well, you don't need to,
No, I don't.
apparently.
Alright.
So you look around and you realize
speed is
your
alcohol.
your vision is
Okay,
purified.
you
You're,
don't
you're
get
suddenly getting very
any
defensive
idea
because,
about this
like you
point.
said,
You understand?
somebody's trying to. You feel like people are trying to rob you. Someone's coming at you with a cudgel. People are questioning your sanity, and you look down and you draw into yourself, and you're just summoning your inner strength. And when you look down at your arms again, the patterns are gone.
It's gone.
And
See?
these
So it's the work of God.
It's gone.
Oh,
It
Good.
worked.
Now it's
Excellent.
time to be quiet.
excellent.
Oswald,
Yeah,
you're fired.
that's good.
so
I'll take my final pay then, thank you.
Talk to my father about that.
I got it.
you have a lantern in the basement, just an oil lamp.
Oh, I'm gonna put it out. We don't
Can
need these
I-
lights.
Is there another way out of this basement, or have you just let us into our
No,
tomb?
it's a large
No, it's-
wine cellar with a few small tunnels going off where they store some
More
of the
wine.
better vintages.
Can
And sometimes you will stash bodies down here when you don't want to think about them.
Yeah.
Can I make a-
Not
But that's
really
in
another.
the pit down the end of one of those tunnels.
But we could use it as a trap.
Yes.
can
All right. Oh, but then it's. Let's try though.
Well, you're sitting in the pitch blackness without any light in a basement, and it's cold.
can I make a listen check?
Yes.
See if it's coming.
Oh no, bad. No, not
Everyone
pass.
can make a listen check if you're sitting in the dark silence of the basement.
Yes, success.
It's a pass.
Those who passed can hear through the rain pattering down, through the sounds of the wind in the trees. Maybe it's an illusion. Maybe it's the fear that's creeping into your mind. But in the far off distance, on the edge of your consciousness, you hear a series of cries of pain, screaming, and dying. And then you wait. Do you wait more?
give-
20 minutes pass. 30 minutes pass.
I'm gonna listen again. Can I hear some sounds still? Ooh, 5. That'd
The
be
rain. What you
Pretty-
do here is a distinct absence of any animals in the area. Something that you're very used to. Another 10 minutes pass. An hour passes as you all sit silently in the basement, damp and cold.
I'm getting pretty frustrated.
in the dark, the pitch darkness.
It's time to light the lamp.
2 hours pass. It's now 10 o'clock at night.
I'm getting over being down in a basement.
Uh-huh.
So, excuse me, I'll be taking my gun back. Thank you.
You can't see. You're like fumbling in the dark
Just
to take it.
hey,
All right.
okay,
So,
I'm gonna
you took
turn
it back
on
a while
lantern.
ago.
Yeah, you took it back
You
a
took
while
it back
ago.
a while ago.
Oh, did I?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you got the
Get
gun
with the
back when
program, man.
Excuse me.
When she was panicking. All
I'm
right,
going up.
All right, we're gonna
I'm
light
going
the
up.
lantern, but just really low.
I'm going up.
Yeah, well, you have a storm lantern or a covered hooded lantern, so
Yep.
you can just let a little bit or a lot of light out as you choose.
So I've got a little bit of light going on.
Okay. So, yep, a little bit of light, and now you can all see, because your eyes have adjusted to almost complete blackness, the small firelight coming out from the lantern just radiates around the wine cellar. Old stone walls, packed earth floors, a drip, drip, drip coming in through the floorboards on the far side.
I can't hear any animals out there. I don't know if it's because they ate them all, or it's because they're too scared.
Hopefully they've all just gone. Okay,
Do you want to have a look?
Bandit Man.
Yes.
What do we have down here? What? Just wine?
Yep.
you serious?
Some
You
really
don't
good
have
wine.
any. You don't have any secret weapons. You don't have any nothing.
I have a pit.
Okay.
And no way out, other than this trapdoor.
No way out other than this trapdoor.
All right. We can't sit down here forever.
I think if we're going to go upstairs again, we should probably turn off the lantern for a bit and let our eyes readjust to darkness before we go up.
Obviously,
In case
Charlie
the lights
knows
are
all
out.
about sneaking around in the dark.
Indeed, I do. What are you implying, brother?
So if you go up the stairs
Nothing.
and be ready at the hatch, and then I'll put the lantern out,
Okay. All right.
and I'll
that's fine.
come slightly behind you, ready.
I'm gonna close my eyes, get them ready for the dark.
Okay. And then you close the lantern.
Yeah, but I'm gonna have a really big drink of one of my finest wine bottles before I go.
Okay, excellent. Give me a constitution roll.
17.
You don't feel cold anymore.
Hi, I feel
Nice. Nice.
Can I have a swig?
great. Yeah, absolutely.
Nice.
I think we're all gonna have a swig of that.
Excellent. Yeah. Excellent. Excellent. Constitution. If you
That's a
if you
fail.
passed, you don't feel cold anymore.
I'll add it to your
That's fine.
fees.
If you failed, then something else happens. But if you didn't, who cares?
I gave up drinking in Italy. It's,
Okay.
That's
Yeah, the things you saw there.
Yeah.
We know what it drives men to do.
Terrible wars, great wine, so
Another
he's
Dortmund
coming
fan.
back to Germany. Anyway,
Alright.
Okay, so you approach the top of the stairwell. The trapdoor is above you.
Alright, as you start to move the latch, then I turn the light of the lantern out.
Yep.
I lower it down.
Okay, and you're all on the stairs ready to go up. As you push it up, the trapdoor opens.
You're first.
I
What do you
lead
see?
with my gun very slowly.
Okay, take a step cautiously, one step at a time. You sort of creak open. First step on the landing in the floor of the kitchen, which is where this trapdoor is that goes down. You look around the room. Furniture's turned over. The moonlight is filtering slightly through the clouds here and there. A dull ambience, a white light filters through the house. Only a little bit, but your eyes have adjusted from being in the basement, and you see nothing of note. As you come into the room, you look around, thinking something might be behind the trapdoor, which had to be fully opened. Suddenly, things there. Give me a power roll, please. POW.
Is that just?
Yep, roll a dice. Power is here. So it's the same percentage sort of thing, but it's just...
I pass. Just.
Okay. Memories of the battlefield coming back to you, and that kind of hypertension that you would experience when things turned in a moment, but you don't give in, and you just hold fast. The room is clear. This room is clear. You see there's a doorway through to the lounge room, and then there's a window from the kitchen outside.
I don't want to do this, but I think we should go back to the cart. Didn't you say there were some documents that were attached to the chest?
Well, yes.
Maybe that will tell us what this thing is.
Wait, are they on the chest or are they with the
Well,
coach?
they were the
guy?
coachman, but maybe they fell out of...
The guard.
Maybe there
Well,
was...
He would have probably kept them stored in the coach.
I really hope you're right.
So you know that there's a lockbox
Yeah.
on the coaches which have these letters in them. It's usually keep all the letters. They just put them underneath the seat so that they're closely guarded by the coachman.
Well,
I think that's the direction we should go.
Or we could wait in the basement until it's daytime and go home.
But it's clear now, and we don't know when they're going to come back. And then there is the families that live in the town, not far away. Families that I know.
Yeah, I know them too. What are four of us gonna do
Very socially
here in the
conscious
darkness at night? Like, you saw what they did to all those huntsmen.
Well, I don't want to be a sitting duck in a basement anymore.
Well, there's only one entrance to the basement. It's actually a pretty safe place. Charlie does have a point.
There's only one entrance to the basement, which means there's only one exit. If anything comes down it, we're not leaving.
Well, I don't think knowing what this thing is going to help us.
How will it not help us?
How would it help us?
Well, we could at least maybe know where it came from, and we could go and ask,
Find a way to kill it.
find a way to kill it. It could have some sort of knowledge in there about its weaknesses.
Unless you're, of course, as strong as your faith in God as you are in your faith in a walking headless man.
Weapons didn't kill it, because once it was dead, it was stronger.
Well, I'm gonna go wherever you're going because you have the gun.
And I'm just going to start walking at this point. I know the way through the forest, and I'm going stealthily.
Okay, are the rest of you following?
Yep.
You start making your way carefully through the forest. Make a stealth roll. So you're leading the group and showing them where to step. You move through. They're not very good at keeping quiet, and they stumble and crunch, and they slip on roots that have been recently slicked by the rain. The rain is still falling, but it's eased off considerably at this point. And it's a slow, penetrating drizzle that just slowly weighs on your clothes and makes them wet and wet. Your dyes are starting to run, and these clothes are now ruined. I mean, they could serve as a hand-me-down, but once a piece of clothing is wet and the dye runs, it's gone. You can't be seen in court like this. Regardless, you make your way through the forest. One step at a time. You can all make listen rolls, please.
Listen.
It's a fail.
Yes.
Fail?
Fail.
Success.
Okay. Again, you are struck by an absence of animals. Sound of the trees rustling. The winds. The moon, as the clouds slowly start to part and illumination is cast on the path. You guys keep moving cautiously, step by step through the forest, working your way one at a time. Every now and again you hear a creak or a groan or something that puts you on edge. But what seems like an eternity finally passes and you break the cover of the forest and you see 100 meters across the wagon, now illuminated clearly in the moonlight, lying shiny and slick from the rain.
I've robbed a few of these in my time. I'd probably know where the good stuff is.
Yeah, usually.
Yeah. Alright. I'm gonna get in there. I'm gonna use my sword and like knife to wrench the little box open stealthily.
Right, so you guys all cross the clearing? Mm-hmm. Alright, so you all cross the clearing, you get to the lockbox, and you get in and just pull out a crowbar that you have handy. I mean, you know, and pry it open, give it a crack, and give me a dexterity roll. Let's see.
98.
A large cracking noise and the wrenching of iron clasps echoes out through the silence of the road and the forest.
I thought
And
you said you were a professional.
look around nervously.
I don't normally have to do this subtly.
But out of the case falls another smaller box, which is just a small wooden box, which you recognize as the mailbox.
Yep, that's the box. Should say in there.
You open it up. Do you?
Yep.
Yep. So you open up the box and you find the letters that you recognize in a leather satchel.
You tell me what these say.
Yep, flip through it and...
Okay, and you break the seal. It's a strange seal. It's got some insignias on it that you've never seen before. They recognize no language that any of you... They resemble no language that any of you recognize. And as you crack the seal, the letters spill out, and you see it's all written in Latin.
Read that?
Which you can read. And you don't need to roll to read it because it's written down. It takes you a little while to study it. But as you read through the document, it talks about the transportation of an important package, a vessel that transports a creature or being of utmost importance, a being that they name as Isael. That's Isael. And it is being transported in the body of a man and sealed in that man with a holy relic. Should it escape, it must be, there are a series of instructions, it must be goaded back into the body of a naked living human and sealed in there by the insertion of a holy relic into the mouth. It must not be the same holy relic that was used to seal it once, for that seal will be destroyed once the being escapes.
Passing this knowledge to everyone else, and
You read it out loud.
You should have a holy relic of some kind. You're a holy man.
This implication, it looks like the seal. The seal on the outside you didn't recognize, but it looks like this letter comes from. It's an old letter, an old document, and it had a broken seal on it, like somebody had stolen it from somewhere. And the seal is a Vatican seal.
Is there a body in the original box?
You guys go and have a look at the box.
Yeah.
No! The last time we opened the box, all this bad stuff happened.
Well, it's already gotten out. It's obviously was Sael.
Did it though?
Isael, yeah.
I'm going to step back and you can open the box.
I'm going to keep a medium distance.
There's another passage that refers to Isael is three that are one.
Cross in one hand, cudgel on the other one, I'm going to open up the box.
You lever open the box with your crucifix. It's like the sort of catch just sort of falls back as the lid sort of falls open. It's awkwardly on its side, and indeed, the naked body of a teenage male slumps out onto the ground. As his head hits the ground, viscous brown liquid starts pouring out of his ears and his nose and his mouth, just draining out into a jelly-like puddle upon the ground. You see bits and pieces of a reliquary box, is that how I say it? Reliquary box of a box that holds holy objects, broken pieces falling on the ground out from his mouth. His hand slumps. His body is slick and white in the moonlight.
Is any of that black, smoky cloud mist coming out?
No.
Alright, step closer.
So
Everyone can make a spot hidden. Well, you can make a spot hidden roll.
fail. Spot hidden?
Spot hidden, yeah.
No, fail.
Do you want to spend some luck?
So it's just one per point?
Yep.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Awesome. So you pick your head up and look around. So these guys are all examining the box together, I'm assuming, and you're just keeping watch. That's what you do. And you start to see some movement in the trees. 3 figures along the tree line. They seem to be edging towards the forest, staying inside, surveying, but getting closer.
So you said a naked, dead body with some sort of...
A naked live body.
Naked live body.
Well, I think it's up to us to put this obviously evil thing back to capture it.
Guys, heads up. Three of the maybe coach people that we saw earlier on their way back.
Alright, so we need someone who's going to volunteer to be this naked live body, right? You're always for the greater good, you holy men.
You're also a criminal.
He's got you there.
You have relic? What sort of relic do we need?
Oh, well,
What's that around your
I've
neck?
got this, but I'm not really sure if it's real.
What do you mean you're not sure?
Well, it
if
hasn't been
it's real?
it hasn't been validated yet. But
Oh, wait.
That's why I was traveling to the Vatican.
I believe I have a praise.
Oh, you do have a praise. Give me. Let's see if you know what's what.
No. I
Well,
don't know,
it's hard to
religious
tell from the
relics.
casing. You'd actually have to have a look at what's inside the box because it's concealed by the
yeah.
copper casing.
Can I have a look at it?
Yeah.
Is
You'd
it
have, but
sealed?
again, you'd have to have a look inside to
I
see
don't
what.
want to open
Is
things.
it sealed?
It is sealed, but you could just
I'm
crack the
gonna
lid.
open it.
Okay, so you
Yeah,
it
I'm sure
unscrews.
these times call for desperate measures. Yeah.
So there's a wax seal around the outside of the copper casing, and as you twist the top, it cracks, and then you pull the tube down, and then from outside you see an old shriveled finger. And it's mounted on a piece of wire, and the piece of wire is wound, it's gold wire, wound up around the finger, and it's encrusted with jewels, and various rosaries and signals of the Holy Trinity are rotating around the bottom, and in itself it's a little mini shrine that you could put on the table and pray to.
I would actually probably know what relic this is.
Yeah, it's supposedly the finger of Saint Peter.
And these things that we can hear approaching now, can we start to see them?
Well, Oswald saw them before.
Well, they were the beast things from before.
Yes.
Right, we have very little time here.
What else did it say? What do we need to do? We just need to have a naked body.
So, naked body.
Do we need
And
a
a
chant?
passage needs to be said.
Right.
Do you know this passage?
It's not a passage. It's just a symbol. It needs to be drawn on the chest of the person,
Oh, good. You don't need to be able to read to do this.
and that way, that chest, that symbol will stop them from moving, stop a sail from going into any other creature, and it will depart the body it is currently in and move into the body of the host that you're presenting. Oh,
You have a writing set, don't you?
Yeah. Yep, that's one of the.
Yeah,
few
you
things
have
I
ink.
Yep.
We talked about this before.
Yes. Look, I think you greater good and all. You know, this is your calling. Don't you have a calling?
Look, I'm obviously the most qualified to lead the ceremonies, and I would love to volunteer you.
Oh no, I couldn't possibly.
You're the one that got us into this mess. Everything was fine
I
until
mean,
you flipped the carriage.
you did flip the carriage with the dead body in it.
I didn't have a dead body with a embodied spirit thing in it carrying along.
Oswald, grab him.
I'm grabbing him.
It's a pose strength check.
Yes, this is an opposed strength check.
Double 90, 98.
What did you get,
no.
Oswald?
I got a 61.
It's on your strength. So Oswald grabs you before you go for you go to draw your
Yeah.
arming sword, and Oswald grabs you and restrains your arms. But it looks like he's struggling against it, and you're not sure how long Oswald will be able to hold him for. This Otto is a strong, stocky man.
Yeah, I'm fighting this. I'm not dying for peoples.
This is your greater calling, of course.
You need to strip him naked.
Hey?
You will need to strip him naked.
Yeah, but I think
Oh,
it's
no, I'm gonna knock Otto out
Oh,
first.
okay, cool.
He's going for the unconscious version.
This is your calling. God has brought you for a reason.
You give
Remember
me
to use the back of the cudgel, not the front.
you don't want to
You
kill
don't want
me.
to kill him, yeah.
Otherwise, you're gonna have to line up someone else
Exactly,
after this.
then we're in
Give me a
trouble.
fighting brawl roll, please.
Oh no.
That's a 1.
That's as good as you can get. Bong.
Oh no.
You're like, no, you can't do that. And the priest comes up with a stern and serious look in his eye and swings the cudgel, clocking you on the side of the head, and you just blackness.
Oh,
So,
glad I
you
had
start
that
to see
last
the
sip of
figures come
wine.
slowly, foot after foot, disjointed, mottled limbs.
Norbert.
I need Norbert and Ostwald now both to make... I need all three of you to make sanity rolls at this point. It's the first time you've seen it in this clarity.
Nope.
No.
It's another fail.
Okay, D6 sanity points.
Ma'am, I have
5.
Wow. Yeah, it's happening again. Okay, so what happens? Okay, is brother, you're 100% certain that this is what you need to do, and as you smack Otto over the head, you see Otto like fall to the ground, and you realize, and you look up, and you see these 3 distended black creatures creeping out of the forest, and you realize that what you are about to do will damn your soul to hell, and you must make a decision as to whether or not to damn your soul to hell for the greater good, or whether or not to fall into despair.
Oh no, he'll damn himself. Self-preservation kicks in, and
Charlie, you look down at your arms. It's happening again. Your body, you get this black vision, black spots on the side of your vision. You start clawing at your eyes and your face to try and get it off as it possesses and fills you. You start staggering and you fall to the ground on your knees. Ostwald, you look around and you're holding Otto Holiak in front of you, and Norbert starts feverish look in his eyes, stripping the clothes off of him, taking them all off and preparing him, and looking up at the creatures that are coming down from the forest, and the images are changing from when you would see your companions after the battle, stripping the corpses, taking them down, stripping the other soldiers they would find, making humor and sport of them as they would cut off their various limbs and see how long they could keep them alive for as they tortured them.
Am I disturbed by it, or am I like... okay.
This is why you left the army. This is why you left the Italian campaigns in the warring states, and you stagger back 1 foot after the other, looking around. The forest disappears, everything disappears, and all you see is the campfires and the barracks at nights, and the sound of people cavorting in revelry, and you feel that you're back in the hell that you spent so much time in then. You just cannot acknowledge that this thing is happening. And Brother Norbert, all this time, you're just feverishly... Ostwald steps back, but you know what you have to do. You are certain in your task. And you will damn yourself to hell for eternity, but that is okay, because it needs to be done. And you pull out your writing kit as these things come to within 10 meters of you now, slowly, one after the other, sniffing the air as they look at the naked body of Otto, gleaming wet in the moonlight, as you pull out your inks and draw a symbol. You try and draw the symbol on the chest, but the water comes down from the rain and the ink is bleeding and just running, and you can't get the symbol right. What do you do?
I use the other end of the pen and just etch it
Take
in.
the pen, you just carve the symbol into his chest. Otto, give me a power roll.
30. Success.
Otto, you go, "Ah!" and you look down and you're lying naked on the ground with a bleeding emblem carved onto your chest, staring at the full moon in the sky, now radiating down into this open field next to the dismantled carriage that's smashed. And you look over and you see Brother Norbert, his fevered eyes, and he's looking up, he's holding a bloody pen as he steps back, one foot off the other, looking up at the creatures that are now coming in towards you, moving, and you look up, and what do?
I'm gonna jump up. I'm gonna punch him in the face. I'm gonna try and grapple him to the ground.
You jump up and you dive towards him. Make a attack roll. So just a roll.
Oh, 41.
Okay, make a dodge roll.
Nice.
That's a fail.
Do you want to spend a whole lot of luck points to make it not a fail? How many luck points do you have?
Now's
60.
the time.
Does that make us spend?
Well, you rolled 80,
Yep.
and what's your dodge?
30, so I need to spend 50.
Do you have 50 luck points?
Yes. I'm going
You
to
spend 50 luck points, you
yes.
pass the dodge roll as Otto dives at you, but he pushes you, but then you sort of stagger back and then fall back in the grass on your ass, and you splatter out the side, and then he's grabbing onto your robes, and you sort of kick him with your foot and kick his hand off.
I'm trying to actually
Yep.
grapple to stuff the fingers, saying,
It has to be after they go into him. And you kick him, you kick his shoulder, and you look back around Otto, and you see these things descending on you, and suddenly their black forms stop, and from them emerges 3 spirals of smoke that spin and start just going, and you're paralyzed suddenly as they go into your mouth, and into your eyes, and into your ears, and then you know what must be done. And you shove the seal, shove the relic into
Otto's
Otto's
mouth.
mouth.
Oh, finger.
And Otto stops. His eyes glaze over with blackness, reflecting the moonlight. And you take Otto's body, and you put it in the box, and you close the box, and you sit on it until the sun slowly rises over the horizon, and the birds twerp once more. And these two people, who may or may not ever recover from their current psychosis, sit there gibbering by your side.
If you enjoyed that game, go and check out Call of Cthulhu, Pulp Cthulhu, and much more from Chaosium Games. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell button to stay abreast of all future releases from Tabletop Dynasties. We'll be back next week with more from PAX AUS 2019, and of course, all of our regular releases.